Moving on to step 21, the dampers, we are going to need to make 4 of these. Now there's a lot of parts. I have to take these all off of parts tree B, and there's the pile of parts that we need, and there are the springs. So I'm going to show you how to do one of them, and then I'm just going to do the rest, and then we can move on to installing the shocks onto the chassis. So these are a pretty simple design. They're very similar to the MO5 chassis that we just finished building. So what you're going to do is grab one of these, and there's a wide end and then the circle end. You want to put the circle end into this part so that you can still see it. You're then going to grab one of these pieces, make sure that part's at the bottom, just squeeze it on. There we go. There's the top part. Then you grab one of these rings, stick that on, then stick one of the springs on, then grab one of these pieces, stick it in, and then you're going to twist to the right. And that's it. So that is how the dampers are on this kit. These are actually very stiff springs. So it's obviously going to keep the car to the ground, but I don't know, it seems a little stiff. I may upgrade these to oil-filled shocks down the line, but that is how you do that. So I'm just going to build the other 3, and we'll move on to the next step. So there are the 4 finished dampers, so we can move on to step 22, which is attaching the front dampers. And as you can see, there's going to be the step screws, and they're showing you the placement. So you want it in the lower hole, not the upper one. And then the upper one, not the lower one, on the actual arms. And then of course there are the step screws. So we'll go ahead and put those onto the front. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we'll grab one of the dampers, we'll grab one of the step screws, and as we pointed out, it's got to be the lower hole on that front stay. So you can see the lower hole is right there. So we're going to screw that into here. And I'll just do sort of a temporary hold first. I want to make sure that everything goes in okay. Well, it seems to be all right, and then we'll grab the other step screw, which again, it's going to go through the bottom, but into the upper portion of that arm. Stick that one in and go into the upper portion of the arm. And it's going in pretty good. Same on the other side. And we've got it. So there is one of the front shocks complete. So I'll go ahead and put on the other one and we'll come back. So there we have the front dampers in place. So we are ready to move on to the next step. However, one point that I want you to know is that this shock going into the top plastic, that's hard plastic. The plastic that's in the lower arm is soft plastic. Just be aware that when you're tightening the step screws, this is going to go in and it's going to come in hard and you'll feel it like it's done. But when you start screwing this one in, this is going into a soft plastic. So when it reaches the end when you're screwing it in, it's just going to keep screwing in. It doesn't stop. So just be aware that you don't want to strip it. It's not too bad at the going into the hard plastic, but on the soft plastic, you're going to want to be careful how much you turn that in. Just be aware of that. Anyways, We are finished step 22, so we're going to move on to step 23, which is attaching the rear dampers. So for step 23, there are the 4 step screws that we're going to need, and we're going to put 2 in the top, 2 in the bottom. Now I'm not going to put this on camera because it's pretty much the same thing as what we did in the previous step. Just a reminder, this is a hard plastic, this is a soft plastic. So when you're screwing these screws in, just be aware that you don't want to over tighten down here. It's going to be okay up here, you're going to feel it pull. But with this, if you keep screwing, it's just going to keep moving, and I think you'll end up stripping the hole. So just know that. So I'll just screw those in, and we'll come back. So there is the rear shocks in place. And again, yeah, down there it was pretty soft putting those in, so you just have to be careful. But it's in, so we now have all 4 dampers on the car. So now let's move on to step 24, which is the steering linkage. So I'll just grab all the pieces we need and we'll get building that.